Hi everyone, it's Caroline from Caroline Rothwell Therapy. Hope everyone's okay. Today I'd like to talk about why looking fine doesn't mean you're fine. Now, have you ever looked at someone and thought they seem absolutely fine? Well, maybe they go to work every day, they smile, they laugh, they support everyone else around them, they keep the family going, they meet the deadlines, and they never seem to ask for help. But what if I told you that some of the people who look like they're coping the best are actually carrying the greatest emotional burden? So today I want to talk about something that I see regularly in therapy. People who appear completely fine on the outside, but are privately exhausted, overwhelmed and emotionally drained. So one of the biggest myths about mental health is that you can always tell when someone is really struggling. People often imagine depression means staying in bed all day. They imagine anxiety means panic attacks. They imagine burnout means someone who simply can't function anymore. And the reality is often very different. Many people continue to work, they care for children, they look after elderly parents, they smile, they joke, and they achieve. And all the while, they're quietly falling apart inside. Now, why do we hide it as human beings? And there are several reasons for this. Sometimes we've learned from childhood that emotions weren't welcomed. Perhaps we were praised for being the strong one. Perhaps we spent years looking after everyone else and don't know how to ask for help ourselves. And some people are frightened of being judged. Others worry they'll burden those that they love, and many simply don't believe anyone will understand. So instead of saying, I'm struggling, they become even better at pretending everything is okay and eventually get really good at masking it from everyone else. Now, there is a hidden cost to this, and the problem is that keeping everything inside comes at a cost. And over time, people often become emotionally exhausted, sleep becomes difficult, concentration suffers, patience disappears. Small problems suddenly feel overwhelming, and eventually the body often begins to protest too. And this can manifest as headaches, muscle pain, digestive issues, chronic fatigue, and our minds and bodies are much more connected than many people realise. So, 5 signs someone might be hiding emotional distress. So if you recognise this in yourself or someone else, this one's for you. So number 1, they become constantly busy, because being busy becomes a distraction from how they're actually feeling. Number 2, they're always supporting everyone else but never talk about themselves. And number 3, they laugh and joke even when they're hurting inside. Humour can become armour. And 4, they tell everyone they're fine even when they aren't. And lastly, 5, they begin withdrawing emotionally, not because they don't care, because they're trying to conserve the little emotional energy that they've actually got left. So why don't we notice this as humans in other people? Well, the reason so many people miss these signs is because we've been taught to recognise mental health problems only when they're obvious. But emotional distress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's incredibly quiet. The colleague who never takes a day off, the parent who keeps everything together, the friend who always checks on everyone else. Sometimes those are the people that are silently carrying the greatest weight. And this is how therapy can help. One of the things I often hear from clients is, therapy won't help, I'm just exhausted from pretending. Well, therapy isn't about pretending. It's one of the few places where you don't have to perform. You don't have to be the strong one. You don't have to have all the answers. And you don't even have to know why you're struggling. And together we can make sense of that and begin that process. And we explore what's happened and why your mind has adapted in the way that it has. And importantly, how you can begin to feel more like yourself again. So final thoughts. Looking fine doesn't always mean feeling fine. Mental health isn't something we can judge simply by looking at someone. If you've recognised yourself in today's video, please know that you're not weak, you're not failing, and you're certainly not alone. Sometimes the strongest thing we can do is allow someone to see that we're struggling. So if this video resonated with you in any way, I'd love you to visit crothwelltherapy.com, where you'll find my new mental health guide expanding on topics for today, at least, together with practical advice and further resources. They'll be coming later. If you're ready to take the next step, you can also book a free, non-obligation introductory call directly through my website. And if you think someone else needs to hear this message today, please consider sharing it with them. So take care of yourself. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.